Hi boys and girls, this is Miss Christie, and tonight's homework, 3-11, is practice with decimals. So this is more of what we did today in class. Hopefully it won't be too difficult. So number 1 says fill in the missing numbers. So let's see if we can notice the pattern. So we start with 0, and then we have 1/100th. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 empty spaces, and then we have 8/100ths. So this must be 2/100ths, and this must be 3/100ths, 4/100ths, 5/100ths, 6/100ths, and 7/100ths, and then 8/100ths. And then looking at this one, okay, so this one starts at 7/100ths, and it goes to 7/10ths. 7/10ths, because it's in the tenths place, as opposed to this, which is in the hundredths place. And then it goes to 1 5/10ths. And we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blank lines. How many spaces do we have in all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 spaces. So this must be skip counting by tenths. So 8/10ths comes after 7/10ths.
All students turning bus 9 are released for dismissal. Bus 9.
After 8/10ths. After 9/10ths, 10/10ths, remember, means 1 whole. And then 1 1/10, 1 2/10, 1 3/10, 1 4/10, and then 1 5/10. Notice how the numbers are consecutively going up, and just as if we were counting whole numbers, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's just there's a decimal in between. So it works the same way, though, as our regular whole numbers. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, and 6, follow these directions on the ruler below. So this was similar to what you did in your journal today. So the first direction says make a dot at 7 centimeters and label it with the letter A. Okay, so I can tell here that this ruler is a centimeter ruler because it says cm down here, which stands for centimeters. And it goes from 0, counting by ones, up to 15. So 7 centimeters is going to be right here, and I'm going to call that A. Okay, number 4 says make a dot at 90 millimeters, and label it with the letter B. So 90 millimeters, how many centimeters is that? Well, I know that there's 1,000 millimeters in a meter, and there's 100 centimeters in a meter. So that must mean these little lines here on millimeters, there's 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. So therefore 90 divided by 10 is 9. So this is going to be the 90 millimeter mark, and I'm going to label that B. And you can even skip count by 10. So this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 if you're counting by millimeters. Make a dot at 13/100ths of a meter and label it with the letter C. Well, remember we talked about how if you are converting meters to centimeters, you're multiplying by 100, so you're moving the decimal 2 places to the right. 1, 2. So that's going to be at 13 right here. I call that C. Make a dot at 6/100ths of a meter and label it with the letter D. 6/100ths of a meter, so again, we're just going to move the decimal 2 places to the right, and that's going to be 6. Okay, right, less than, greater than, or equals to. So 1 whole and 2 tenths is greater than or less than 12 hundredths. Well, there's no whole number here, and there is here, so that's greater. 3 tenths or 38 hundredths. Well, there's a 3 in each of the tenths places, but this one has more in the hundredths place. So that one's greater. 80 hundredths or 8 hundredths. Well, 80 is greater than 8. Okay, now we have to do these conversions. So we did this today in class. When we're going from meters to centimeters, we're multiplying by 100. So 5 times 100 is 500. When we're going from centimeters to meters, we're dividing by 100. So 1,000 centimeters, moving the decimal 2 places to the left, is going to be 10 meters. 6,000 centimeters is going to be 60 meters. So over here, 1 centimeter equals 1/100th of a meter. Therefore, 3/100ths of a meter must be 3 centimeters. 6/100ths of a meter must be 6 centimeters. And 40 centimeters must be, remember we did this exact one in class, 4 tenths or 40 hundredths of a meter. Either one is right. Okay, so now we're going to do some practice of some addition. Excuse me. So I'm going to rewrite these vertically so that I can solve them easily. 6,366 plus 7,565. So 6 plus 5, because we always start at the ones place, 6 plus 5 is 11. Put down the 1, carry the 10. 6 and 6 is 12, and 1 is 13. Put down the 3, carry that one. 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 7 plus 6 is 13. So the answer is 13,931. Now we're going to do another addition problem over here. 3,238 plus 29,784. Make sure you line up your numbers when you rewrite it. This is a 10,000s place, and there's nothing up there for that. So you could put this on top if you wanted to. Some people like to do that. I don't care. 8 plus 4 is 12. Put down the 2, carry the 1. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 3 is 12 again. Put down the 2, carry the 1. 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. Put down the 0, carry the 1. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 3 is 13. Put down the 3, carry the 1. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So that's 33,022. So now over here we have some subtraction problems. And I'd really like it if you tried this on your own first and then pause the tape, and then you can come back after you've done it and check to see if you did it correctly. 9,325 minus 7,756. Okay, so 5 minus 6. Well, we can't do that. You can't just say, oh, well, 6 minus 5 is 1. No, because that's not what we're doing. We're doing 5 minus 6, and you can't do that. So you have to go to the 2 and borrow 1 from the 2, leaving 1 here in the tens place and making this 15 ones. Then 15 minus 6 is 9. Can't take 5 away from 1, so I have to borrow again. 11 minus 5 is 6. Have to borrow from the 9 again. 12 minus 7 is 5, and 8 minus 7 is 1. So it's 1,569. So this one over here, 14,805 minus 2,927. Can't do this. Oh, but wait, can't even borrow over here, so you have to go over here. So this is tricky. So you have to borrow from the 8, making this a 10, but then you have to borrow from the 10, leaving a 9, making this 15. So you have to borrow 2 times in order to get that 10 over here to the 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. 9 minus 2 is 7. 7 minus 9, we can't do that, so we have to borrow. 17 minus 9 is 8. 3 minus 2 is 1. So it's 11,878. And that's it. So I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow.